11.1 million. Yedikoton konya esiano ne yedikoton konya yedikogu Bank of Ghana headquarters. Now share sika ya committee into this particular construction as a building in Kutoa. Ivan, that will be say enti say yete na yesi Ghana ye ni sika na wapayo na say den pa because share sika awuramu a anyesika ketwa enkura keke 11.1 million
enti obika cho say yenim nyansa nisi edi independence.
Oh,
I think so you should also understand it.
Why?
Because akwa say baby a wudu tibeto wunni baby a du tibeto na obi acha osika na wafra wonamfo se monko na kempiski na monko gimoni nti mo ba gimoni the whole day no ba na sa mancho ha na oba beda nipa only vision nipa only plan no that is what you do, and that's exactly how we've been behaving in the past years. Because at the time of this idea of Bank of Ghana buy, at that time no Ghana was in a serious economic predicament. We are aware.
Yeah.
Because officially Ghana declared bankrupt in 2022 when we officially wrote to our creditors, external ones, at the time we were using a fortune to pay for such a building. At the same time, that same time, Bank of Ghana was turned into a printing press. And I had the printed cash and a journey daytime, we ended up Bank of Ghana boka over 60 to 70 billion Ghana cedis.
92.3.
In the history of this country, I'm not sure a single state institution in a year aboka such amount of that magnitude to that. I don't know, I'm yet to be educated on that. Over 70 billion and a Bank of Ghana and Quantina Hoboka. And a over that sorry no na the building number started the amount they quoted nyini kwana nima ba beduru ene na bisa won say as a country at that time ana oman no as a by force ye ahia for sika pension ye sika ye debt restructuring by force because aban eni sika no e dey na be ma Ghana aban the Bank of Ghana tana aka say me kwa akosi building and a priority at the time when we are forcing people to sacrifice at the time, but because building no yesia a ho na amanfo benyo omo cat because until that building goes up no amanfo sika become baby enti furniture ye beye na said na ayarega sika no akonwa banya na abatena so you need to spend $11 million.
$11.1 million just for only furnitures.
Enti dollars no enra madam for be from US by Ghana na oka kire me say oba Ghana no wahu this Toyota Land Cruisers brand new na abam mono no wahu several ones e wo kroma na e no nwanwa because US baby o no kra na betu abasa bosome na on flashes aka na ba kokora ba Ghana ha say every blessed day these guys are moving up and down yanso na da bia kwa abonten kwa sresres ka bebo bosia e de ba e wo kroma na business ka na ye de den. So that is how we've been over the years. Asema parliament asema ikoda di and yes doto do so nsemi ma werem fi the same parliament konwa na moteso mo kokra free China meboa e wo kroma be ye debate.
It's true.
So how to empower young people in this country say be ya o betimi an yes a niema we ma ya to no sa nim de ne sa nyansa no eni ho because to no krom ha na emfa so bi amaso ma no many as wokọ Asia, most of the emerging economies, some of the big countries like Indonesia, Taiwan, your friend is saying big Asian countries that are emerging, you know. Do you know, say, the backbone behind the economy, you know, has to do with furniture and those things, kind of stuff, or more exported to our thing. Vietnam, one of the major things they do, some of this furniture, and for they export to Europe. Turkey over the years, you know. Pononen as for ayeto nya na yeto free say.
Turkey dolls.
So there no betimi aye ntimi nya okroma say. So bisa won say, how are we retooling young people in those local industries no ha? Some of these things betimi produce so. Komenya akonwa be no be no Ghana how you need to pay.
So it means it means our parliamentarians doesn't have the locus.
Exactly.
To even question.
Add moral locus.
The moral locus.
Yes, legally they may have, but moral locus, you know.
The moral locus.
Yes.
To even question BoG.
BoG
for acquiring as a purchasing 11.1 million furnitures.
Yes.
Because
so you see, and I say, mine ye team no, As will be a year the OPE. And it's the reason why Addison will have the audacity and the infantry to do what he did. At the time, and oh yes, I did. We don't forget the minority na NDC time, no STG demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay, some hooligans.
Yes.
The guy insulted them and called them hooligans. Said they should know a better way of demonstrating. But this is Parliament with an oversight responsibility, or where they can exercise over some of these institutions and even stop the building of that particular thing. At the time. But what happened? Ekoduru and partisan politics. Now issues na kwakwada. And that guy had the full capacity to do these things. Now, I said we are by. I'm expecting say you have a proper audit into every single dollar that was pumped into that particular thing. Now you who say indeed. Say sikani be for baby also akoto ngonwa over $11.1 million.
Tiaso was it committee 8.6 million into integrated electronic security systems. Back with you say ICC system and network infrastructure cost them $8.6 million. And then another integrated electronic security system cost almost $15.8 million.
No one said sikana. And you see some of these security your fans saying we are installation your moki can one me. Kofi my fee last 2 years. Now your fans say there is this China your fans say Russia guys what they do is that they sell information online on those way. At some point in time, not Ghana Finance Ministry. Proper documents and as for were being sold on those platforms. So the documentary is out there. Oko, your friend is saying one of the streaming platforms. I will show it to you. They were selling your friend saying intelligence, our Ghana Finance Ministry, and you go there, they will tell you say, oh, we have all the security buying. So they will get away with it because Kroma and Kasa na Kasa. State institutions empowered to take some of these things, they will not. Because some of these things, you don't even need to go to Parliament and argue over it. All you have to do to get a proper audit firm, I will go into every single dollar that was used in this particular building. You'll be able, because there's a paper trail. Sure. There is a paper trail. You do comparison. But no, say, price is not OK2 for this, Is it standard across board? When you do these things, then you bring the report. When you are speaking, then we speak to fact. But some of these things, depending on where the person stands across the political divide, NDC, MPP, I don't know, the issue become a foolish case. We don't move anywhere. So people will continue from today going. Obisu Babi see a dying. No, so because there is no centralized system in this country that are the responsibility. Some of these things, some of these institutions and what they do. Because there is no reasonable basis for Bank of Ghana to, in the first place, overbuild that particular building at the time Ghana was in crisis. Let alone some of these fanciful things they are mentioning in the forum. Nina Baba yet Ghana foka yet home. Now, besides, I'm for so bad, Ghana Quakunya Fris and Nema Wim. Because I say, building near old. At this time now, I'm for near Jumania near my busy basa. You don't spend such a fortune. At the same time, don't forget, at the same time, we will also building cathedral. At the same time, no say Ghana ni tighten the belt, At the same time, we were building cathedral. So near man I matima before matima before Abrabako Yenedia. That has never been the priority of those in power. It has always been agenda plan. Baby, I acquire Benyasika free. That is why I'm employing Ghanaians and say they need to be very vigilant and get out of this excessive partisan politics. Governance at any point in time must serve the interests and the purposes of the people of this country. It must not be at the whims of some individuals for the conveniences of those in power. Or no, they can easily have access. Because at any point in time, how is the government serving your interest? That should be the basic drive. Your politics, Kroma. But Anyasana, you continue to fight among ourselves in the manner we do. We are going to create a lot of strength for people, and they will capitalize on that particular strength and allow your division way to do some of these things. Because at the time, Addison, yes, I never way. It was all over in the media, demonstrations, discussion, Parliament. The guy was never perturbed because somebody was telling Charlie, do it, I've given you the green light. And I know that nothing will happen. Here we are today. Parliament is asking questions. We don't even need those things. All that we need in this make sure a serious audit firm will go to Bank of Ghana, take all the documents analyze it and tell us, say, indeed, this amount of money, you're inflating it to this level. Say, then we know, say, somebody can be prosecuted.
Sure.
By the way, we bandy these figures around, 11, and so what? Because we've not proven, say, your friend saying, oh, we be and you and I know, say, doesn't make sense. So what it means, say, you come, now you're a proper auditor. We know how much was actually used in some of these enterprises, that we know how much was added. Then we can speak to proper fact in as a forum. But about this usual comic, we've been here before. So I'm not expecting say the next stage of your politics zoom, you know. We come back to the same square 10. The same thing because we need to prove and show seriousness at this time round. It's not business as usual. A man for my committed crime against this particular country must not get away. Now the who lady is national service or no about Kruma when you the camera dinechi, not just all turn the whole social media. Up to now, I'm not even sure whether she has been invited or not. What I say, when you do some of these things, you know, you man for Abamubu, people, a man for Nyaji, they say, the commitment say they fight corruption is really real or not, because the facts are available. In America, some of these scandals break it up, but the following day the FBI will pick you up and make sure say you are interrogated. Do you know why they do that? When you create that vacuum, it creates a certain sense of unseriousness.
Between the government and the people.
But government, you know, at no point in time must people lose confidence in government. So they do those things within short period just to sustain trust and confidence in the government. Say government is really doing this or doing that. But
here we are. Our own people are also saying it is a witch hunting.
Witch hunting, but that's how we know witch will be a hunter. We can only hunt witches. If you are not a witch, what will be a hunter? Yes, so we had a dear course for national service. Now a cartel at Tennessee for a period of 7 good years, inserting ghost names into pay road database. I pay almost every month. That alone should tell you the structural weakness. Me, I am not focusing on Sabayo and for more national. That is the narrow approach we always adopt. For instance, there was a time I meet morning show across some of the platforms. The focus was on 3 people now no more. I'm going say you people don't know what you're talking about. Those people are a cartel. For them to operate successfully for 7 good years, it means there is a systemic weakness that they capitalize on that. Because national service, you know, let's know what they know. Omo register no omo call grants ni na submit to parliament. Why do you think the law no my whole to submit to parliament? Oversight responsibility. So you cross check. Controller and accountant general doing payment, you know. You are not a zombie. You are list brow and go to yaka. You have a role to do oversight. So you see the institutions involved to sit there for 7 good years for this cartel to capitalize on the weakness in the system and be taking money for 7 good years, you know. I trust that the system is weak. And to me, a leader, I'll rather focus on the systemic weakness in the system before I send a Nipano crime about so. What does them know? But about what is Obiaka systemic weakness in one? What is Obiaka say?
Our focus is on the personality.
On the personality. Parliament.
But the systemic weakness.
No.
I don't know. You drink alcohol.
Obiaka drink alcohol. Mintis Obiakra, we are just an expert way to radio, so Mintis Obiakra boss that.
It's all on the personality.
On the personality. Oh, young Kochi or we say. But don't forget the President Mahama Pencil. Or man Crofobit Sika or national service. Because Omuye the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, so they reverse.
They reverse. So for us to come back 7 years after, it means that there is a structural weakness in the system. People will continue to capitalize on that. How are we eliminating this systemic weakness? Nobody is talking about it. Oh, young Kwachi or one national security, I'm for address it to say, wait, nothing will come out of it. I think we need to sit down and make sure that governance and my culture say yantrungu eboso and yantrungu baby. There is no book we have leadership, no governance. It's an art. How we adopt to approach and how you go about it. Now contextualizing within where you find yourself and make sure say it serve the interest of the people. China, for when they adopted your friends say private capitalization, people thought it's never going to be possible. But they are reaping the dividends and because China was the first country to experiment that particular thing. Okay, almost a communism, a private capitalism. But then the dividend, the economic dividends of what we achieve, and it has become a model. Now other countries are also experimenting. You understand? So I think the narrow approach, and a dear baby we need to expand the horizon. But this linear way, a straight line. Yeah, governance level, no, we always think linear. But I think the time has come for us to expand our thinking. Now you're making sure that issues no bad.
Let me, mommy, can few of the messages now, Abanona. We'll wrap up with a tidal wave. We call it a day. Mama Johnny, and thank you, and all the platforms. Mama Johnny, also thank you very much. Say Mama Johnny, and Ahonto 92.3 FM. Yes, simply so. Ajumedi so the media so the coffee so. Jumray meeting Mama Alaska. The Dawn. Ivan Che Innocent, or a researcher, and what they can say in a notch. And come on, let me read few of the messages. Jumrayaba. And I inquired him now. I'll say, good afternoon. If I'm enjoying the show this afternoon, I'll say, please ask Jane Mensah, when shall we receive our 2024 election little allowance? It's 3 months now. Please, we need that allowance now from Tei and Saitama. Almost say, my electoral commission, 3 months in the Entionka. It will be such electoral commission, or say, the bank and over Trium Cantite. But one more in the amount and I say, NDC, beware. Some ECG officials are creating doomsday today between 11 a.m. and 12 noon. The light went off for 4 times. Why? We in a frank at the Africa South, and I will say, or say ECG for your home ye, MPP for be able more, or create a problem no at the Mayan, or say for 4 good times, and then between 12 to 1, no, not a mallet of bear 4 times, or say it's uncalled for, and yet until any year, or say so can a kufu ado sit on a house chair in public? Or say sorry, Alex. God limit me kind of because I know she was say criminal bomb. Sorry, I can't read that. Or a former president, and he deserves that due respect. I'll say happy birthday to Mansuro, and now birthday, happy birthday to you. Na I'll say we pip. Free Dobro and someone. I say good afternoon, citizen. I am advocating that all true CPP family come together so that we can change the name Kotoka International Airport to Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. We should try as much as possible to go and plant a very big billboard with the inscription Kwame Nkrumah International Airport in front of the airport. How can we harness somebody who overthrew Kwame Nkrumah with the airport that he built? Greetings to Honorable Fred Agbenyo and Kofi Adams. And I pay also a day Abba Abe Boom. A lot of messages here. Say Kofi, I always enjoy Ivan Che. God bless him for us. And I John so a day Abba Kwesi. Nkoko or Sekofi. I'm enjoying your show all the way from Nkoko. Tell Ivan we need more of him in Ghana here. I say, let's wrap up on a tidal wave. Now, pick up some few calls. Now, on this tidal wave, I'm Rami Hunsabampeni right after the ceremony Okoho, and we share the devastating level at which Nkofo war Agavagine Omomo coastal line or water region go through Nona and some part of Accra is also facing that same challenge. Now, who said in 2021, that is somewhere December 2021, the NPP government under the finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta then committed 10 million Ghana cedis, 10 million for a visibility study, which results in who ever seen that, and here we are.
Citizen, I reho, but they did come. I'm more President Mahama, but so you see, they say, "Oh, town Kwadu and away in America. We a leader. We a leader. The most important thing, they say, I'm on phone who's a for them.
Yeah.
And or how to nipa na a cherswa. You need to be there." Because in America, quite recently, you know, but not a judge. The following day, the president will fly there. You see, just to give people, say, as a commander in chief, no,
I'm with you.
And that is what the leadership is about. That is why I consistently, not some of us were on TV. You couldn't president, even tweet a crown on Twitter. Uncle, Obasara, you distance yourself from the people. And that was a very busy day at the Jubilee House. Because now a Independence Day, President Mahama town from Anopakusi area, we are one tenacity. And I'll call that particular place, you know. A day before, no Cote d'Ivoire. And he has been running around because that is what leadership demands. Being there for the people. So, my member said, upon all his busy schedules, he took time to visit the people just to assure them, say, he is there for them. And this whole tie-down website, you see, it's a problem that has been existing for quite a while. And Yahoo in several back accident has seen the last 8 years. So whenever we will expect to say certain lasting solution be now remedy the situation. But never, like we said, a whooping 10 million was committed. Say feasibility study and intervention. Cause steady situation there on what to do. And no, to be spending 10 million
4 years ago.
The report, as to because you don't do feasibility study and drop it when the amount involved is huge. But 10 million said nipa indeed a year feasibility study 1 year. And at that enclave, and when I could see signboard that you Kwabraneka for almost 4 to 7 good years. There is no cater port there. What I say, how I wasting resources and how government then demonstrates that he didn't even care about the people because Sanyama we are not a course way. Oh, but that's sorry. Not a piano dining as a phone. I was expecting say government will come with the reallocation plan. You move the people away from that particular shore now. Sanyama we because ASC there is nothing you can do unless you undertake a certain massive way about cutting the sea off from the people. But until that, you need to move the people away and do a sea defense kind of intervention about stopping the sea from coming. But and I'm saying to Kroma sabi Debia Makasa who be a Jenako. Yanti Kroma na Kofi. When there was the last time when there was the first time I want to say I said Fred Dambe Bagredamo ye be a fanipa. I
bokin ache.
Afi be man be fanipa o Kroma saying. Ndi Makacha say ni nyansa house me boa.
The same thing can call Paulo Gudam. Yes,
because you see, leadership, every day be other sorry, you're solving problems. That is all leadership is about. If you don't know, it's about solving problems. Your problem, our creative, your problem, your problem for others. So you don't allow problems to persist when you've been given all the resources, everything to deal with such situation. Yet to Kroma, every way be as a way for be a dam. A man of funny power in the north for a be a kunipa, a catty road, as a for
destroy your
yes. And for that problem to exist,
and that also we've committed 12 million.
Yes, and don't forget that this year Bagredam about funny pa, a kunipa.
Because Paulo good and thank you.
Your for
cost 03034028 6203034029 I want to 92.3 simple so admit so yenia and numere was so guswa with him the citizen coffee so and pay numere yam fa course kakra na yes so yentie was so wadon chire e won koma and pay numere yedie atina tetable mame na won se edanumre catch us open dranoma yede ahan ene ndumra aya empatina tet ho fa ba biara wagan ha kaso petina tet enro ni bi anum obanya bi anum na bia akoye numre so yenda batampa na fe so K some roofing open chance open so bo dan so na wabo ne yie na nyama koyi a we K some for extra K some roofing number 1 construction company wagan ha qualified carpenters with me abua installing roofing at the amount ever would die so metal roofing trusses ever I feel me a wooden installation and I feel roof leakages case some a dance kurano a do juma at the mount so cake some roofing in your your card your MS your T-lock and our metal roof trusses in your your Medina and some pum area wa Arabaji Junction wo yeben Pentecost Church oni enkasa 0541 908 637 and that's 0249715908 Cake some roofing so we are number 1 good evening opening if also kasa free
champion citizen
champion yahuza
citizen nyamisha jumani de we opias wire de jumana na wire no Chimbienu, Savan to chiava mami why na Dr. Pusombo nembani de in fact nyame achen ade papa no yedi mechi no sebi anto en ho anchene nyame hira no papa na jo ashama so jo mama akachem se yawza tobu jo ashama mema no bebi ahye na onim citizen mesre hwe ndc ba abai citizen ye mani pabi ye wo peteku enfonjwa homa bi amfa wo hwe wo nipa bi a wo ko rounds e check garam safe no muko na muko tu muko chi nipa bi a mu fo won ko semra kwa so na do afa na abubo na nu so fi it's a win na PPD and they nya problem wa kwa chi obi a then omo inji one of council the chairman bi ye entertain sade no sa na na ku fo super tantan ye chin the mama brand was so for example for any bio citizen maka mesi amambo John the man mama ba be bunu Ghana fo munya to aso Monto mubu na mudi mubehu ya kasa appointees bi obeye tu no me ye be organizer ko pamuno ya entertain sabi muteka mu a se ye de on atuwe ya wuza me na mituwe ne mo ye hwese joma mo bi ni mo kira se simple muja tu no wa wu ye ndi support bi obeti se hunu obeti yenka
and that's it.